We're live. Right. Good. Excellent. So, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again, to the Inside Out Effect podcast. The self-proclaimed, I haven't said this well, the self-proclaimed #1 global personal development podcast in the world.
Yeah.
The self-proclaimed, obviously.
Self-proclaimed. Yeah.
And I'm your host, Stephen Jakes, the co-founder of Healing the Mind and the Inside Out Effect. This is episode 42. And
We've done 42 episodes.
42 episodes.
Wow, that's incredible. That's amazing.
Nearly as many people have watched it as we've done.
That's probably correct.
You know what I mean?
But we love the loyal fans who do watch. Thank you.
I know. In actual fact, we actually had a fan who was going to come and join us tonight, but pulled out. We actually had someone reach out and said, "Can I come and be with you in your podcast?" We did,
yes.
But pulled out at the last minute. So that's a bit of a shame, really, because that would have been...
We'd look forward to seeing you and having a presence.
Yeah, exactly. I remember being watched, having a spectator.
Yeah, having a live spectator would have been nice.
Absolutely. So yes,
depends if you heckled us or not, really. Though, if you start heckling us from the.
Well, you'd be struggling having two of us then, wouldn't it?
Exactly. I've had more than that, but being a magician, I used to get heckled all the time. So, yeah.
And they used to say, "You're shit."
Yeah, basically. Yeah. When I first
that's what she would have said.
When I first started, they did. They didn't after a while, but when I first started, yeah, people do that. Especially when they didn't take cues and they were drunk. Yeah. Outside Churchill's and places.
Or was it because you was just shit?
No, it's because they were drunk.
Okay. All right. Well, anyway.
Moving on.
I'm so supportive of you, mate.
You are very supportive. I can feel the love coming from you. I really can.
I know. But anyway,
it's overwhelming.
It is. I know. I try to do that. I try to make you feel appreciated and loved. So this episode is actually named "Why or How All of Our Beliefs Drive and Dictate Our Behaviours." And but obviously, before I do that, I'd like to introduce my co-host, the creator of the DTO system, the co-founder of the Inside Out Effect, and the author of the book Decoding Pain: Emotional Blueprint to Healing Chronic Pain, as well as the DTO handbook. I have what we would call the Maserati, the Rolls Royce when it comes to mental and physical pain. Although he does look like an Austin Allegro, I've got the
Austin Allegro.
Yeah, I've got the Austin Allegro himself, the amazing Jonathan Shaw.
Oh, thanks for that. Good. I enjoyed that.
That's
good. Maserati, the Austin Allegro.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, you might be that, but actually, when it comes to it looks you're a Rolls Royce and an Austin Allegro shell. I shouldn't.
That's funny. I like that.
Anyway,
what's my interior like?
I don't know. I don't even want to go there.
Don't go there.
I'll ask. That's not for me to do. But anyway, how are you doing, mate? Are you actually all really excited about the grand reopening tomorrow? Obviously, where the people of the country have allowed themselves and given themselves permission to go back to work. Because obviously we've let a bunch of these amazing, deceitful, lying politicians who think they own us and tell us what we can do, and tell us where we can go and what we can do and when we can open. They can tell us. So actually, they've now given us permission to live our life again.
That's nice.
Which is really kind of them. And obviously, the question I want to ask is, why do we put faith in people that we don't know, that we've never met? We don't know if we can trust them or not. We don't know if they've been paid for, they're paid to tell what to say. Let us control our life, dictate what we should believe, dictate our beliefs. And because obviously when I clearly look outside in the real world, I don't see anything in the real world that relates to what I'm being shown on the TV screen. Not that I watch the TV screen, but I see snippets and enough of it. That doesn't resemble anything. Why do we do that as human beings?
Well, it actually comes down to the title of this podcast: how beliefs drive and dictate our behaviour. Because people believe and they've been taught for so long, for centuries, we've been taught the government tell you what to do, they're in charge, they know best. Because we are taught that has just become the norm, and there's a small fraction of people, it's quite a large fraction of people really, who actually just don't buy into that any longer. But the people who do still believe that, because they've been taught by their parents and their grandparents and their grandparents and their great-great-great-grandparents.
And their father's father.
Because they've been taught through the centuries that you listen to government and they know best and they know what they're doing, that's what people do. So they then just, they buy into whatever they're taught or told. Same thing as a teacher. People brought into this idea that we should listen to teachers and teachers are knowledgeable know what they're talking about. Actually, no. Same thing in the medical profession. We've all been taught that these people know what they're doing, they're there for our best purpose and highest selves, and actually they're not, they're just there to make money. and that's the biggest problem. And that's how you can tell. You can tell if they're there to make money and make profit. That's kind of how you can tell if they're just making big money out of people.
Yeah.
I mean, my life hasn't really changed since they locked everything down, except that I wasn't able to go to shops. But I still went out, I still saw friends, I found places that were open that I could buy things from, and you know, and I just continued with my work.
Like biscuits from mine.
Exactly, yeah. I'd come out here for my biscuits, and so I couldn't go to the shops.
Bloody expensive biscuits, aren't they?
It's
tough times though, mate. You know,
it's tough times, yeah. I had to travel further as well for them, so it's expensive in petrol and everything.
I'm not just a healer anymore, mate. I'm an entrepreneur.
Entrepreneur. Yeah. What, you're making your own biscuits as well now, are you? Why, mate? They come in handy.
Absolutely.
Give John Lewis a call.
I will.
If you believe, whatever you believe is going to be your reality. If you really believe that the government tell you what to do and they're in control, then that's the way you're going to respond.
Yeah.
And sadly, most people don't realise the government is a corporation. It's a business. It's listed on HMRC as a business.
Yeah. And they're just employees to the shareholders of the business that aren't your government. It be whoever the central bankers are, or the elite families, or the royals, or whoever it is, we don't know. But they're just basically mouthpieces for the people that own. So but
all businesses are there to make money. The government, because it's business, the government there to make money. So everything they do is based on making money. And if you follow the money trail, follow the paper trail, you can see where it all leads back to.
Yeah, absolutely.
So everyone who's lost their businesses and shut businesses down because they believed they had to, because they thought the government could actually instill laws. The government can't instill laws. It's nonsense. They only do acts and legislations. That's not law.
Yeah. So illegal isn't against the law. People don't realise that either.
And there are some people out there who've kept their business open because they understand the law, and they've been fined to keep their business open because they understand the law. It's just a lot of people, you know, around the world think they have to shut down.
Yeah, but it's just a case of being, I'd say, ignorant or naive to actually the law.
Yeah.
And actually realise that, you know, the law isn't what people perceive as the law. Like, illegal isn't against the law. And that's the whole thing, and it's the maritime law and the common law thing. But anyway,
but again, I don't want to get down, but again, when you hear it's a law, that comes down to a belief driving your behaviour.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because if you think something is law, it can leave you in fear, it can leave you worrying, because that's what they do it for. And you think you're going to get in trouble, so you then follow. Yeah. And then you see people get in trouble. This is where they're very clever. So if they really want to instill a belief, whatever it is, but in this case we're talking about government things. If they really want to instill a belief, they will show you. You will see people get in trouble for going against this law, and that will reinforce a bit. In reality, that's all fake and made up. Yeah. So
far, every single court case that's gone against the Coronavirus Act has been thrown out.
Yeah,
one of them's actually been.
Every person that went against the Coronavirus Act 2020 that broke the law, when it went to court, it got chucked out.
Because it isn't law.
Because it's not law. So the Supreme Court will chuck it out. They'll just get rid of it.
Yeah. High Court.
Magistrate Court. Sorry, I'm on American slang. Yeah. So,
have a good day, buddy.
Yeah, but so when it gets to the court, they will sling it out because it has been. It's just people think, well, police officer gives you a ticket, you got to pay it. No.
Yeah, but again, people don't even realise that ticket that they were dishing out had nothing to do with the government and nothing to do with the police. It's actually a private corporation which was set up by police officers, and it has nothing to do with it. It had nothing to do with the police, nothing to do with the government. And the people the shareholders of that company that was issuing the fines, when you actually looked on Companies House and saw the records, 50% of it was profit, and the other 50%, guess where that got sent to?
Back again?
UK government.
Oh, UK government.
Yeah, okay. So the UK government was saying, yeah, you can fine everybody, you can keep 50% as long as you give us 50%, because we're not allowed to fine anybody because it's against the law.
Yeah. So they're just trying to make money out of people and scare people, but again, that's how belief drives behaviour.
Yeah.
But for that to work, the belief has to be there for many years, which it has been. It's been indoctrinated into us
over time.
And a lot of our beliefs that drive our behaviour do come from our childhood. So they've been there for years anyway. So as an adult, we are just doing something repeatedly over and over again without realising it, because we was told it when we was very little, whether it was from a teacher at school or our parents or our grandparents.
I still keep jumping out the window with a cloak on, hoping one day, just one day, I won't break my leg.
Yeah. Well, you always were a rebel. You always
I know. Yeah, I know. I've grown out the suit though, but
have you?
Yeah.
Now, see, that's actually quite a good example. That's a silly example, but see, that's an example of someone defying a belief, but not really knowing what they're doing. So, so if someone says you can't fly, well, okay, that's fine. But if the Wright brothers had listened to that, we wouldn't have airplanes today. But I never remember the Wright brothers jumping out of windows, breaking their legs. Yeah. Maybe they did. I wasn't there. But it's an example of how people, when you tell someone it's just a belief and they say something silly like that, you know, you'll say to people, well, the fact you're not a millionaire is a belief system. And they'll go, well, I believe it now, so £1 million will pop up. No, that's not the way that works. Your beliefs drive where you are in life, but the situation in life is not necessarily going to change instantaneously by changing your belief. You have to then change your actions, behaviour, your thoughts, and gradually over time it changes.
Absolutely, but the problem is that whatever we believe to be true, that is what drives our behaviours. So that's why, because everyone believed this, what's been happening, and they believe because it's there, they behaved in a way that's made them stay in their home, not see anybody, because that belief drives that behaviour.
Yes.
They haven't gone and checked to see if it's real or not, because they've been told it and they believe it. That belief drives the behaviour.
Yes.
And that's the problem. And that's how indoctrination and brainwashing and all the rest of it happens universally. Yeah. If you give them permission to do that.
Yeah, that's right.
Which I don't.
No, you don't give them permission. Excellent.
I do not give them permission. And first, everything they ever tell me, I go and check it out and research it first. Yes. Like I said back in, and if you go back and listen to the podcast on the 19th of 20 something, when we had Wendy Smith on the coach, and I said to you, it took me 2 days to find out that you don't catch virus.
Right, so now
2 days to find that out.
Now that's a good
and
example.
I didn't even know. I mean, I believed you. I believed you caught viruses up until, and then when they actually come out and then said on the news, as soon as the news come out and said, oh, you're going to do this, I thought, hang on a minute, because my instant gut is that most of the things they tell us is propaganda or not real true. So the first thing I did was go and look and start researching. Took me 2 days, and then within 2 days I realised you're lying to me again.
But see, so that's an example of how Steve's beliefs drive his behaviour, because Steve's belief is that, and he knows it to be true, but it's a belief still that the government lie, and he can't trust what he sees.
And the news, mainly the news.
So that belief then drives the behaviour of him going to research and look it up for himself.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that is a good belief to have, because it drives the behaviour of him actually doing the research to look it up, to find the truth. But most people don't have that belief. Most people have the opposite belief.
And believe that the government and TV is 100% real.
And it's safe.
It's only a little screen about that thick, but all of that stuff that's going on inside.
It's not so much that they believe the government are there for their benefit and will never harm them. Yeah. That's the belief that drives that behaviour. So they trust. Well, your belief is I don't trust. So you go and research. It's a trust element. Yeah,
but surely, I'm just saying it, surely, over a period of time, would you have not realised at any point that you can't trust the government? I mean,
no, some people do.
Okay, all right. So let's go and talk about. Here's a great example. So the reason. Sounds like Jonathan Ross now, doesn't it? Yeah. I'm after his job. Yeah. The reason why we went to war with Iraq was because of weapons of mass destruction, and then we went in, smashed it up, killed millions of people. And then they come out and oh yeah, we lied. There wasn't no weapons of mass destruction. And the guy that actually exposed that ended up committing suicide in a bush somewhere as well, and he got taken out. So there's loads and loads of instances over and over and over and again, repetitively, that they lie. Surely at some point you go, hang on a minute, they're lying to me, I can't trust them. You don't go back. It's a bit like me saying, lend us a tenner, I'll pay you back tomorrow, and they're not paying you back. And then tomorrow I come back going, lend us a tenner, John, and then you lended me a tenner, and then like me keeping it and not paying you back. And then on the third day going, lend us a tenner, John, and then lending me a tenner and not paying you back. How long do you do that before you go, hang on a minute, he ain't going to pay me that tenner back?
No, that's right.
How long do you do that for?
Well,
what's wrong? Well, I don't get it. I mean, for me, I'm like, well, this is obvious. Well, let's go and check it out.
Well, it comes down to a time delay thing. So it's like pregnancy. If women actually remembered how painful childbirth was, they wouldn't give birth again. If people actually, if the woman actually remembered, oh my God, that was so painful, don't ever come near me again. They may
but the news is on every day, mate.
No, I realise that, but because the news is on every day, that if the woman was consistently being embedded with that every day, she'd never have sex ever again. So because it's embedded every day, it reinstills the belief over and over again. So the belief is just being reinstalled. And if you look at anything that someone believes to be true, it usually is being reinforced daily or weekly. If you look at anything, Brexit thing, it was reinstalled daily, and then had a break for a few months, and it got reinstalled again. Yeah. And the more you reinstall, even if a break, if you then reinstill it again,
it reaffirms
it, and it goes in deeper.
Yeah, it goes in deeper.
Because when you have a conversation with someone, if you say something, then have a break, then say it again, it goes in deeper. Yeah. So it's.
I suppose the other thing as well is it's like a multi-pronged attack, isn't it? It's in your advertising, it's in the TV shows, it's in the government, it's on the news, it's 24 hours.
And it's everywhere you go out there.
And not only that, you've got all the people seeing the masks. Yeah. Shops are making you do it. Yeah. Everywhere's doing it. Everywhere's shut down, so that reinforces it. And so everything is just this whole constant constant 24-hour attack on our psyche to get that belief system instilled.
So you're being reinforced with a belief.
Yeah.
And then they're going to go, well, that's the belief. Then there's nowhere else to look for other information. Yeah. And even if you go and Google it, you won't find it. It's the same with anything.
Well, the people on the TV and the media on Google. So the problem is the narrative that they're going to use. It's only a handful of companies that own it all, but that narrative is going to go across the board in all forms of media.
Yeah.
That's the same with like Facebook, YouTube, all censoring all the doctors and everything that's coming out.
Yeah.
But they're also censoring it on YouTube. They're censoring it on Google. They're censoring it on Vimeo. They're all the same people that own all the platforms. And then you've got to realise that the news is just basically one organisation that pumps out the news globally. I can't remember the name of the company now, but they put out their 4 a.m. headlines, and they put out what they want the news to be. And every news platform
says the
same thing across all boards. So then if you go and look at the Mirror, or if you go and research the Mail, or if you go and research the Sun, or if you go and research even some of the other, less well-known publications, they're all going to have the same story, because this is the story that needs to go out today across the board. And then they'll do it on the TV, they'll do it on the local news, and that reinforces it. So if you do, this is my thing, is if you do actually question it, unless you really know what you're doing, it's very easy to fall into the trap. We go, well, it's on there, it's everywhere. I've looked, it's there.
But it goes for everything. So even if you put this whole government thing aside, if you just take something simple as exercise, whenever they want to instill something that's good for you, like originally when the whole Pilates balance ball thing came out. I'm not saying anything against the Pilates balance ball, but they fed it into so many places it was really good for you, and it became a craze because it was everywhere. Well, I know so many people who injured themselves doing that thing, because actually, unless your Pilates is really, really good, your basics, you can't do that ball. You'll fall off it or injure yourself. So it's the same with anything. Once you see something lots, you then go, oh, I think it's like when people look you up, they hit a website, they have to be introduced to it 7 times before they'll give you a call, 7 or 13 times before they'll make a purchase. So the more someone keeps being reintroduced something, whatever it is, where it's nutrition or exercise, that's right, where it's nutrition or exercise, if you're being reintroduced it time and time again and seeing the same advert and seeing the same thing, it's everywhere, you're going to hold that as a belief.
Yeah.
And then the problem with that is that if you then hold that as a belief, that then drives your behaviour, and you go, oh, I must try that and give that, because that's going to work. Yeah. And you keep doing that thing, especially if you want to get better, which is about health and well-being. You keep doing that thing because you believe that's the way to go, because that's the new thing. But in reality, you're not getting any better. You're still got the same problem, but you're doing something different and something new that's apparently going to fix you. Yeah. And I'm not just talking about the whole Pilates ball. I'm not saying that. I'm talking about lots of things everything comes out like that. Anything that comes out as a fad and a craze, they'll drive it and they'll push it. And a lot of these things don't solve the problem, but we keep doing it because we're told that's the problem. Yeah. You must do this. That's the root cause. And that's the problem.
This is the problem, and this is the solution. And it's not the problem, and it's not the solution.
No, that's right. So they actually make the problem and the solution up.
Yeah.
And then you're coming from a belief system.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, I don't know where.
Where's that fucking at me right now?
But so they create a problem that's fake.
Yeah.
And then they create a fake solution to the problem.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying illness and disease is fake, because it's not. But the reason you got ill and disease is fake.
Yeah.
So they'll say, oh, you're ill because of this, which is fake, and then this is the solution. So that's the problem with a lot of things, even alternative therapies. They'll say, well, this is a solution. They're good, the nutrition, things like that, but it's not getting you better. I mean, I spoke to 2 or 3 nutritionalists in the past 2 weeks since we did the last podcast.
Yeah.
And they were talking to me. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with nutrition, there's not, but they were still stuck. They were still struggling, and yet it was working for their clients and things like that, but they still had issues. The nutrition wasn't solving their problem. They might be physically healthy, but mentally they still got issues and problems. Nutrition ain't going to solve that, but their belief system is that it was going to solve that, and it was going to change, so they kept doing it. You can even fall into that trap with emotional things. I fell into that trap as well. I kept doing what I was taught, emotional wise, the techniques I was taught to solve my problems. So to solve my problems, I kept doing everything I'd been taught in the tapping world, in the theta world, in all of that, but it wasn't solving my problems. So I fell into that trap of believing that was the answer. And although the basic premise of that was the answer, the way the principles of it were not working. So it was only when I stepped out of that, and someone reminded me that one of my clients, was asking me questions how I did it. One of the reasons I came up with something new was because I stepped away from
the model. Yeah.
I actually stopped learning more techniques.
Yeah.
I stopped doing courses. I used to love courses. I'd go on course, I'd interact with people, like-minded people.
You were a seminar junkie, always looking for that last little magic thing that's going to solve your problem.
Yeah, and I liked interacting with people as well. That's why I made friends. So when I stepped away from that, I realised actually that wasn't helping because they're all coming from exactly the same model, just use a different technique.
Yeah.
And it wasn't solving my problem. So stepping away, gave me a break, and then it took a bit of time, but a few years later on, then I came up with DTO.
Yeah.
But
I'm bloody glad you did, mate, and so are the hundreds of people that I've healed, because, you know.
But if I'd have carried on being bombarded with that information, because I was doing courses regularly and I was using the information, if I continued to be bombarded with the same information, it clouded my brain, so my brain couldn't search somewhere else. And it's not like I went on Google and searched for another answer. Either I stopped that, but it gave my brain space to actually search inside and go, is this relevant for me? Does it resonate with me in here?
This is the big hook that everyone gets trapped into. Information is not reality.
No.
Right, I'll say that again. Information is not reality. Information.
One more time, mate.
Information is not reality. I could say, I record that and put that in one of my tracks.
Put it in a loop.
Put it in a loop, yeah. But it's not. No. And this is where the problem is that because all of our issues that we have, as we well know, all of our issues are stored in the emotional brain, right? Everything. So everyone that I heal, go to the emotional brain, find the conflict, switch it off, healed, right? The information exists in the logical brain.
Yes.
The logical brain is where we do language and understanding. That's not where the problem exists. No. So you can keep going and looking for more information, but that's not actually going to solve it's not going to solve the problem, because the problem exists in another part of your brain where that's stored.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why, that whole, it's good to talk to, because the talking exists in the logical brain as well.
So I've got an example of this. So I've been treating a lovely young kid with BPD, and all that just means is it's a label for having multiple disorders. So now he's proved to be quite challenging because he's got a lot of secondary gain running. But so I was quite tough on him about a week and a half ago, because he wasn't getting any better because of secondary gain. And I said, right, you need to talk to your unconscious, because he kept trying to analyse why he was the way he was with his logical brain.
Yeah,
and the problem with that is that won't work.
Yeah.
So he had all these understandings that he learned from all these therapists. He'd been taught so much information because he'd been to so many therapists and doctors and blah, blah,
his head was full of crap.
His head was full of all these belief systems. And every time he tried to understand it, he went to one of these belief systems. But the problem is that just kept him stuck where he was. So he wasn't changing his behaviour or understanding because he thought the problem was logical, which is what a lot of therapists think it's logical. Once I got him to show him how to talk to his unconscious, and rather than analyse what his unconscious says, just take the response and switch it off,
feel it,
or change it.
Change the feeling.
Then he started getting results. Then he started healing and got better. He had a great session this week. It was brilliant. Yeah. But he actually said to me, working with his unconscious was yielding good results. But before, his conscious brain was questioning,
making up shit and believing the shit you make up.
Yeah, but his conscious brain was questioning what his unconscious said, because his unconscious would come up with random things that didn't make sense. So the unconscious holds all the information like Steve says. Well, no, but the unconscious holds information.
It does hold,
but it holds random information that doesn't make sense, and that random information often, to our logical brain, can't possibly be the reason, but actually is the reason. So if your brain goes, if I say to someone, when you think about this scenario, what's your response? And they go, well, I feel guilty because I shouldn't feel that way. That's not a logical response. Logically, why would you feel guilty about feeling a certain way? It's not logical, but that's what the unconscious does. Then you can have a belief that goes, well, I feel guilty that I can't change the feeling. Then you might have a response that says, oh, I feel ashamed that I don't feel that I feel that way. And people think, well, that's the same as the guilt. It's not. In the unconscious mind, it's different. Yeah. So the problem is that when we believe something, it goes into our unconscious, and then unconsciously it's driving our actions and behaviours. And unless you can tap into the unconscious and rather than analyse it, just change it, then you're going to continue to go around in a circle trying to analyse why you're stuck. And the more you learn, the more you try and learn why you're stuck or why you have a problem, you're just adding more beliefs. You don't want to do that. You just want to find the response in you already, switch it off.
Yeah.
When you switch it off, you will have the answers to run your life.
Yeah, absolutely.
When you switch off everything you think and feel about the problem will go away, and you will have all the answers you require.
Yeah, no, that's it.
Because
Absolutely.
we do know things. We, as human beings, we are inherently built with the answers to things. But the reason we don't know the answer to our problems is because we've got too much other shit that's not true running in our system.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
And then that drives our behaviour.
Yeah, and if for people that don't actually get beliefs drive behaviours, if you're about to cross the road and you saw a car coming, would you cross the road? No, because you believe you're going to get killed and be hit by a car. Yeah. So your behaviour is, I'm not going to cross the road.
Now, we're not saying you should change that belief right now. That's a good one. That's okay. That's keeping you safe.
Yeah, no, but that's the point I'm making. So that's a great example of why or how beliefs drive behaviour. The belief is I'm going to get injured, so I won't be, and my behaviour is to not cross the road.
Yes.
And in a very, very surface level element of that, that's just a surface level element of that. But actually, as you go further down, deeper and deeper and deeper, it's exactly the same, but on a multitude of complexity things of why we behave or act or respond in certain ways. Yeah. For example, the other half might come home and start shouting and screaming at you, and you don't say anything or don't stick up for yourself. And that behaviour is because you've got a belief. That belief is, well, if I stick up for myself, he might leave me. Or if I say something, he'll get really cross. If I say something, he might hit me. If I say that, then we'll have a massive row. Blah, 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 blah. We'll have all these beliefs, but it's those beliefs that drive the behaviours to not have a boundary or stick up for ourselves. So those beliefs drive behaviours. So it happens at a crossing the road level, right the way down to a situation like that, or for example, that you've just completely sick to your back teeth of your job and you hate everybody and you want to leave, but actually your belief is if you leave, you might not get another job and then you might lose your home, and so you stay in that job because your behaviour is, oh, I won't leave, I'll stay. Even though you really hate it.
Yeah.
Right?
So that drives the behaviour of staying in something you don't want to do. Loads of people do that. They hate their job. They don't like the people they work with. They don't like their boss. But they're frightened to leave it in case they can't get another job, do you? Well, then get out. Quit.
Of your own house.
No, get out of your own house. Leave me alone. So be gone with you.
I will.
So they do that quite frequently. And the fear of leaving your job, the fear of not having any money is what drives that behaviour. And, I worked with a client this week, and one of her things is she wasn't communicating with her partner. She wasn't telling her partner how she was feeling. And I don't just mean how she's feeling, I mean what was going on in her day. Yeah. Because her belief was that she didn't want to be negative, or she didn't want to bombard that person with information, and she didn't want that person to run away. And I was like, well, if your partner loves you, they want to hear that information.
Yeah.
They don't want you blaming them or attack, but they want to know how you feel. They want to know how your day went. They want to know what happened in your day. And she was running this belief that was driving a behaviour to not communicate effectively, and so that was stopping them connecting together.
Well, what you communicate is the response you get.
Oh, that's very intelligent, very witty.
Do you like
Mr.
that?
J.
Yeah.
That's way beyond
what you communicate is the response you get.
That's right.
And if you're not getting the response that you want, it's because you're not communicating properly.
Yeah.
But what we do is we blame the other person for not reacting or saying or understanding what we said. But it's probably because we just made an assumption and we haven't communicated it properly. Yeah. And if you didn't get the right response, it's down to you to go, hang on a minute, you obviously didn't understand what I was saying. I wasn't clear on what I was saying, and then redress it.
A few years back, I was walking with one of my cousins in the park, and he'd just been out with his girlfriend. His girlfriend was upset with him because she asked him a question of what he thought, and he went, "That's all right," and she got mad at him. And she just clearly wanted a response that was better than "it was all right." She wanted to hear his opinion, and he got upset because he was like, "Well, I don't want her to change me and stuff." Blah, blah, blah. I had to point out that he wasn't changing. It was just his communication he needed to change.
Yeah.
He wouldn't speak like that to a child. He went, I said, you wouldn't talk that way to a child. He said, no, you change the way you speak, wouldn't you? Yes. It's the same thing. Yeah. You change your communication based on who you're with. And he kind of understood it once I explained it to him. But to begin with, he was like, well, she's trying to change me. So he then went into fight mode and was fighting her on it. I was like,
that's because he believed that.
So it's a belief. So his belief drove the belief that she was trying to change him, drove him to fight, and it created a problem.
Yeah.
Whereas all she really wanted was to know his opinion on something.
Yeah.
I actually saw there's a great TV show, old TV show, if you're in the UK, called Coupling, and it's an old TV show, and they do an
Is
episode.
it about trains?
No, no, it's about relationships. But they do a great TV show, an episode about that, where the man is asking the woman to make all decisions, and he's not deciding for himself.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty common in most relationships these days, mate.
But the point is, all of these things are beliefs about yourself or the world that drive behaviour.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the behaviour it drives often doesn't work for you, because you're not getting a response back that you want in life.
Yeah.
And that's why we're trying to tell you, this is not just about health. Although we talk about beliefs from a health point of view, this covers everything. It covers relationships, and I don't just mean intimate relationships.
Jobs, happiness,
business relationships,
love, business relationships, illness, sickness, diseases, all of it.
Your kids, everything. The way when you wake up in the morning, from the time you go to bed, your beliefs drive every single behaviour. As our friend Wendy says, it drives which sock you put on in the morning first.
Yeah.
It drives, what side of bed you sleep on. It drives which side of you brush your teeth first, based on your beliefs. Now, don't get me wrong, you don't have to analyse yourself to the nth degree, but if there's something, I was going to say, you'd never get out, you'd never leave, would you?
No.
But,
I'll get to the point now, looking in my sock drawer, going, oh,
what should I wear?
Shit, which socks?
Yeah,
and then once I've decided the socks, I'll go, which one?
Yeah.
Which one first? What does that mean if I put the left one on first or the right one?
And do I have the red stripe or the blue stripe?
Exactly.
So
that'd be insane.
But the thing is, our beliefs drive our behaviour. So if you're doing something, if you're doing a behaviour right now you don't like, so again, I've got clients who they feel ashamed about certain behaviours they do. They know they do it, but they can't stop themselves doing it. And sometimes it's a food thing, because we crave food or we eat food we know.
I had someone just today I was working on, 2 people, one last night and one today with food.
Yeah. So
all I did was switch off the behaviour.
That's it. What you do. That's a very common thing. We find people eating when they don't want to be eating, binge eating. That's what. And they don't like doing it. They don't want to be doing it, but they can't stop themselves. Well, it's just driven by a belief.
Yeah.
Same thing. If you're addicted to alcohol, or you're addicted to sex and you're having lots of affairs, it's the same thing. It's driving the behaviour. Or you have money issues. Again, there's a belief driving the behaviour. If people don't realise this about life situations, they really struggle with this concept that if there's something in your life that's not working, it is driven by a belief, whether it's money issues or job.
Right.
It is driven by a belief. And if you find, or a set of beliefs, in that sort of scenario, it's more of a set of beliefs. It's not one belief really is going to change that. There'll be a set of beliefs in the way. But if you find the beliefs and you remove the beliefs, then life changes pretty quick. I've just worked with somebody, and she's actually been quite challenging, and we've just cleared a load of out of her system with this new process I'm using, and all of a sudden she hasn't had a job for ages. She got interviewed, she got a job instantaneously, and within a couple of weeks of clearing this out, she got the job. She was gobsmacked. She was blown away by it.
Can I just say, that's basically so just saying what you're saying, that's what I've been basically doing all week.
Yeah.
With people, I've been basically helping lots of people get their life working for them. Yes. So I haven't really been working on mental health per se as such. I mean, I've obviously still got the people that I'm working through with stuff happening, but generally what's actually been happening is I've been switching off blocks for people or beliefs in people that are either stuck in life, stuck in a relationship, or stuck not being able to do the thing that they want to do.
Yeah.
And then what I'm doing is finding out what that belief is, switching the belief out, and then almost instantly they're getting the results that they have been trying to get for years. I remove the belief and obviously the elements that are associated to that belief, and instantly they're now moving forward. Yeah. So I had a guy, 35 years, he's just basically he's a robot automaton, just machine. He doesn't really live. He just goes to work, eats, goes to sleep, goes to work, eats, sleep, which, and I said to him, that's not living. No. He's 54 now. Shouldn't you really be? He said, well, something happened when I was younger and now it's changed. So I said, well, why aren't you doing anything? He goes, because I don't know anymore. So I said, well, that's just a belief. You don't know what makes you happy. So I switched off the beliefs around him having a little bit of negativity, negative self-talk, and not knowing, and the belief he doesn't know what to do. I saw him the following week, and I said, right, so how are you getting on? Right, has that made a difference? He's like, yeah. I said, what's that? He bought an easel. He spent £100 on paints and brushes and everything. Wow. And he literally, all of a sudden, knew exactly, because he didn't know what he wanted to do. As soon as I removed the belief, he knew exactly what he wanted to do. And this is really weird, but he knew what he wanted, but he didn't have the money. And he did a little horse bet, and the horse bet came up, and he won loads of money. Brilliant. Coincidentally, how the universe works. And he was able to buy the things that he wanted. Yeah. So he got an easel, the canvases, the paints and everything, and he was able to do that. Yeah. So there was still a little bit of sabotage of him now doing it, but that now taking that step away. Yeah. And that's basically what I've been doing all week. And as soon as I remove the belief that, oh, I don't know who I am and I don't know what to do. As soon as I removed all of that and all of the elements of the sabotage underneath it, he clearly knew what he wanted to do and he went and done it. Now, that's someone who's been stuck for 35 years, and I got rid of that in about half an hour.
Yeah.
So in half an hour of working with him, I've literally moved 35 years worth of blocks like that, and now he knows exactly what he wants to do. And that's been happening all week with me, with certain people doing certain things.
Yeah.
And it's just, yeah, so it just goes back to really just doing that. And this week it's been a lot of that. And again, I've been helping a lot of people with food and eating disorders. I'm going to call it a disorder. And this, again, it's the same thing. All I've basically done is gone to what's making you eat? Well, I'm unhappy. Okay, so when you're unhappy, what behaviour does that make you want to do?
Yeah.
Oh, that makes me talk negatively in my head, or it makes me have excuses, or blame everybody. So that now becomes the behaviour, and that behaviour makes them behave and do more of the same eating.
Yeah.
So once I removed all of that, I got a text message from her this morning saying that for the first time, she was able to go somewhere, not come home, not go to McDonald's. She always goes to McDonald's every time. She was able to not go to McDonald's. She then went to the petrol station and put petrol in and didn't buy a chocolate bar. And she said, I normally buy 3 and eat them before I get home every single time. Yeah. So this is a pattern that she does over and over and over again. I worked with her last night. And I basically switched off the beliefs that she had around being unhappy, and all of that's now stopped. So it's just by getting rid of those beliefs.
That's right.
So,
and the behaviours.
And beliefs,
but
getting rid of the behaviours. But the thing is that it was the beliefs that were driving the behaviours.
Yes.
So I sort of done reverse. I got rid of the behaviours, got rid of the beliefs, and now she's fixed from her problem. It's not a problem anymore. It's a completely problem that she's had for many years. Is sort of not completely gone, but most of that's been removed. So that just goes to show how beliefs drive your behaviours and all the rest of it.
So it's a really great example, and people don't realise that. I mean, we deal with health a lot of the time, but people don't realise that when we deal with their health, their other lives, their life starts to heal and change.
Yeah, every time.
Because other things, so you actually get positive side effects from clearing things out, because other areas of your life sort of heal up naturally. Because we don't realise that the things that make us ill also stop us doing the things we want to do.
Exactly. It's the same belief system. It's the same belief system. Yeah.
So because the beliefs and the behaviours, they drive other areas of your life, and we just don't realise they drive areas of our lives. And by changing that and switching it out, your life sort of changes around you almost magically. Yeah. So beliefs are very important. They drive our behaviour unconsciously. We're not always aware we're doing it, but we often, when we do become aware of doing it, we don't like ourselves, beat ourselves up.
I say to a lot of my clients, right, they say everyone likes to be in the logical brain. They want to understand it. They want to understand it and get sense of it, right? And I say to them, right, you're wasting your time. Yeah. Because understanding your problem means you're in the logical brain. It's where you make shit up. So you don't actually really know what it is. You'll understand it. You'll go, oh, that's what the problem is. You make up a load of shit. Then you'll believe the shit you make up, right? So you've made up something.
Yeah.
Now you realise that's the problem, and you go and find a solution, an imaginary solution to solve an imaginary problem.
Yeah.
Pretty insane, really.
Yeah.
But the other thing as well is, like I say, that it's not that part of the brain that makes the decisions.
No.
And the great thing is how many times have you said to yourself, I knew I shouldn't have done that, but went and done it anyway. That's because logically you knew you shouldn't have done the thing, or it wouldn't have made sense, or it was going to be a bad decision. But emotionally, that's the one in control. It's the emotional brain that does all of the decision making. So you can logically go, yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. No, never. No, I'm stopping. I'm never going to drink again. I know it's bad for me. And then next Saturday, you're down the pub, in the toilets, doing your stuff, having your drink, and you wake up and go, but I said last week I wasn't going to do it. Because logically, you know it's bad, but unconsciously, that's the place that's making the decisions.
That's how I end up doing this. I knew logically I shouldn't have agreed to it. And
I know.
And then 42 podcasts later, I'm still here.
But it was the emotional decision, wasn't it?
Was it?
Yeah, emotionally I'm
mostly attached now, is it?
Yeah.
You switch off the attachment for me.
Yeah, I might do. So anyway, look, we've got quite a few people that have joined us and watching us, and want to say hello. So basically, I want to say hello to Rebecca, who said evening. I know this was quite a while ago.
Rebecca.
Evening to Samantha, to Romy. Also,
Romy?
Yeah, Romy, she's one of my clients.
Okay.
I'm
Hello, Romy.
Working with. She's a lovely girl, really smart, loves to do all the understanding stuff. Okay. Literally has just started to understand the whole I don't catch a cold.
Oh, brilliant, fantastic.
So she really believed it. Yeah. And I've had several conversations. I said, look, you don't catch colds.
You really don't.
You don't catch cold. Something's happened in your environment. So when did you get the cold? Oh, I got it on Monday. Go back 3 days. What happened? Oh, I had a row with my husband. There you go. That's why you got the cold. Yeah. So anyway, I've explained that to her, and she's getting it.
Brilliant.
She's getting it now, and she's understanding it. But you all like to understand it because she's starting to get it now. And Romy's really great, and I've just started working with her, a really smart girl. And so hello to you, Rom, and who else has said hello? Amanda, love watching you two. We love watching you two, Amanda.
Thank you, Amanda.
Not that we watch you, but
I don't watch
it's
Amanda.
her birthday. It was actually Amanda's birthday.
Well, at least I've not told her I watched
it. Was Amanda's birthday a couple of days.
That's a joke, Amanda. I'm not really stalking you. It's okay. I'm not across the street with Tesco and box of donuts, I promise.
Really?
Yeah, no.
Amanda's birthday is, I think, a couple of days after mine. 2 or 3 days after mine.
Okay, all right. So happy birthday, Amanda.
So while everyone was saying happy birthday to me, she 2 days actually stole it all from me.
She stole it from me.
Yeah. So
how
anyway,
dare she?
Yeah.
How dare she have a birthday just after you steal your thunder?
It's disgusting.
Yeah, it's disgraceful.
I've got to say, honestly, I've got to say thank you to everyone. I think I had about 170 people over wishing me happy birthday.
Wow.
And it took me 2.5 hours to reply to everybody the next
wow,
morning.
That's impressive.
It was my birthday on the Saturday morning because I had a little bit of an excellent. We had a good birthday. We had a really good party.
It was a really good party.
And so anyway, I had that, and I woke up the next morning. I drank, but I don't know how much champagne we drank. And I went onto Facebook, and there was just like, I don't know. I went on there, I think it was about 140 people, and then there was loads of personal messages. And I sat there for nearly 2.5 hours, 3 hours, replying to every single one of them, feeling really rough. So, but I just want to say thank you to everybody that wished me happy birthday and all your kind messages. I had some amazing personal messages of people telling me that through what we do and how it's really helping them and how it inspired. I had some really heartfelt messages. I don't want to go into too much detail. But one of them said they brought tears to my eyes because you don't realise what impact you're having on people's lives. You just don't know. Though, I know what when I'm working with people. Obviously, I see it. But the people you don't see, the ones that are in other countries and all over the way, when you start getting messages saying, I watch your stuff and you don't realise how much it's helped me and blah, blah, I'm like, whoa. It's really heartfelt messages, and so thank you for everyone that's done that. I'm really grateful for that. And also I've got to say hello, Amanda, and also Doigu. She's a lovely girl as well. So I'm going to say hello to you. We've also got some other people on this stream. So we want to say hello to Bobby. So hello, Bobby.
Hey, Bob.
How you doing? And Julie, she's going to heckle from afar.
Hey, Julie, I was hoping you'd be here heckling us from the sidelines.
Yeah, exactly. We're looking forward to that.
But I was looking forward to being heckled from the sidelines. I haven't had a chance to banter back being heckled for a while, except with him, obviously. But
I never heckle you.
No, really?
No.
No, exactly.
Anyway, we also say hello to Janine.
Hi, Janine.
Isn't that the thing? If you get told something often enough, you start believing it.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, it's true.
That's why, as a child, if you are told you're stupid by your teachers or parent, the child will grow up believing they are stupid.
Yeah.
If and that is the problem with that. You should be very mindful.
And it's the same with health, that we catch stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
We're told from day one that we catch colds, flus, and stuff.
Because our parents believe that, and
everybody else believes it.
And it's also in our sayings and expressions. It's all wrap up, or you'll catch a death. Really? How am I going to catch death? I mean, seriously, that's not what am I going to do? I'm going to catch the Grim Reaper, am I? Someone's going to throw him, and I'm going to catch it. No. Yeah. So the thing is that they're in our expressions as well, in our phrases, and if they're used every day around us, the problem with kids, but kids from the age of 1 to 7. They soak up everything around them. They may not be able to communicate it back to you.
Well, they're an emotional brain.
Yeah, but they'll soak up everything. So they're listening and hearing everything you're saying around them, and they will grow up with those belief systems. And that's actually why the school system and things like that's not really good, because it instills beliefs that just aren't true. I mean, when I was at school, I wanted to be a magician, and my what they call it when you go to the
when they
go to the.
Am I Granville?
No, Granville, fetch a cloth. The work people you go and see at school. What do they call that? I can't remember what they call it now. Careers advisor.
Yeah, that's it.
I went to the careers advisor, and so I wanted to be a magician. And she said, "Well, why don't you want to get a real job?" I was like, "Seriously, fuck off, love. You're a careers advisor. What are you doing?" I didn't say that.
You should have said that to her.
I should have said that to her, but I felt like it. But the problem is they tried to instill in me that there was no money in doing magic. And even other magicians I spoke to, they went, oh, it's a hard life. You don't get many shows. But because I didn't hang on to that belief, I fell in with someone who already had loads of shows, and I developed a career that I was super busy.
Yeah, well, you're super busy.
And I
weren't just busy.
I was super busy. But I was booked up a year in advance. Sometimes we even took 2-year bookings at one point in advance.
Yeah.
Because we were so busy as a company and as separate entertainers.
Yeah.
But if I'd taken on the beliefs that they'd taken on, then I'd have had a different response.
Yeah.
Because I was no different from anybody else. I was no worse or better than anybody else. Technically, not when I first started, I wasn't. So it's about the beliefs that we take on, and they are in our everyday language, and we don't realise if we use our everyday language, things we're saying.
Honestly, everybody, even the people that I've taught that you don't catch colds, when I see them, they say, "Oh, I think I've caught it."
Yeah, I know.
And I say, "You don't stop using it. I think I've caught it." Even though they know it, they still use that language.
They do.
But they don't understand. They don't realise. I said, "Well, you know what I mean." But even though they know you don't catch it, they still use that language. And when I pull them on that language, they go, "Yeah, well, I know that, but you know what I mean." They will still use that language. It's really difficult.
Well, the problem is, sometimes every now and again, I'll go into repair. So we don't call it ill; we actually call it repair. Yeah. So if I have a symptom or Steve has a symptom, we're actually in repair. We're not ill, because that's what you are. You're in your parasympathetic nervous system. That is a repair phase. That's what it's there for. But of course, if I'm so in repair that I have to reschedule a couple of clients, I can't mess them and go, "Sorry, I'm in repair," because they won't understand what I mean. I have to use their language to understand. So that's kind of frustrating. But that's the problem, because we do use this language.
Well, okay,
I have colleagues.
Hang on. Is that not a belief that if you use that language, they won't understand?
I've tried. They don't. What's repair? What do you mean? They won't get it because I haven't taught them what it is. I don't teach all my clients.
But surely that would give you the opportunity to teach them what it is.
Yeah, but I'm not well on the sofa.
But you can't, because you're super busy.
I'm super busy. I'm too busy teaching. So the thing, I am too busy. I was too busy being unwell.
So busy, I'm unwell on the sofa.
I was too busy in repair on the sofa. That's what the problem was.
Yeah.
So the thing is that we do use it there, but when I'm talking to people, people always, they'll call me up, like clients will come and say, "I've got a cold, is it okay to come today?" I've told them time and time again.
I know, I have this all the time. Are you kidding me?
You're not going to affect me in any way slightest whatsoever.
I know.
But because they've heard it for a lot longer than we're telling it, their writing on the wall's been there for years. And us trying to override it in 5 seconds.
I know. I have actually demonstrated it over and over and over and over again to people that have come to me that have been sick. And I said, "Right, you didn't catch a cold, you didn't go, well, how did I get it then?" I go back 3 days, what happened, blah, 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 I'll prove it to them. They'll come back and see me again and go, "Right," I say, "Oh, I think I've got a cold." I go, "Right, okay, you haven't repaired from the last conflict because you've just got a healing crisis. Or what happened 3 days ago? Oh, yeah, I had a row with the missus." Right, there you go. And I'll do it over and over and over again. But even though I proved it, over and over and over and over every time, the same people, they're still like, "Yeah, I'm still not sure. I'm still not sure." I'm like, how much more evidence do you need?
Because if they're in their 40s, they've heard it for 39 years, and you just told them 5 times.
Hang on, whoa, that is amazing. If they're in their 40s and they've heard it for 39 years, I'd like to say that.
Yeah. What?
You can't be in your 40s.
No, so if you're 40, they've heard it for 39 years, and then you're telling them something different in the 40th year, but they've still got 39 years of information. Yeah. No, I did say in your 40s.
I thought you were saying, have you been 40?
No, they've had 39 years of information that's different, and then they go to their friends go, "Well, Steve had a cold, and now I've got it for him as well."
Yeah.
And that's the typical thing that we believe.
Yeah.
If our partner gets a cold, then when we get it, we've caught it off that person. In fact, I had a friend of mine, I think I mentioned last time, about cold sores. And when I explained, she understood why they both had the cold sore. It had nothing to do with the fact they caught it off each other. They were just running the same conflict.
Yeah, I know.
And actually, relationships do that. Think about the amount of times you've had arguments with your partner and you've both gone downhill. That's the reason, because you both had the bloody argument. It has nothing to do with the fact you caught it off. And then think about times when you haven't caught it off with your partner, and then go, "Oh, well, that's because I wasn't running the same conflict with my partner." Yeah. It's really simple.
Or the kids get it, and there's a big massive family row. It's all kicked off, and the kids are screaming, and the other kids screaming, the mum's screaming, the dad comes in, "What are you lot up?" And they're all going, and then they've all gone down with the cold.
And then
they go, "Oh yeah, well, I must have brought it home from school."
Yeah,
he's out from school.
Yeah.
And she, you know what she's done? She only got and passed it to all of us.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and that's what we believe, because that's what we're taught. But the only problem with that is it doesn't solve the problem, because you're just all now stuck with the cold. If you could actually deprogram yourself, you wouldn't actually do that anymore. You wouldn't actually get the cold anymore.
No, no, that's it. I've had a cold for years.
No, since I learned this, I've not had a cold for years.
Yeah, no, same here. The thing is that if people know that now, right? If people actually know that you don't catch colds, and it's because normally of an argument, or you've got angry, or of a conflict, or generally around that, everyone's going to go to work and go, oh, you got a cold? Yeah. Had a row with the missus 3 days ago then, did you?
Yeah, exactly.
Like evidence.
Well, yeah, they will
no, I caught it off the daughter.
They would know, that is true. That is, I've actually thought of that before. That's quite a good point.
That's another good reason why, and the other thing as well is that people can't just pull up and go, oh yeah, I've caught it, can't carry it to work.
That's true. If they did that, it wouldn't be able to get away with it.
It's the same with depression and anxiety and all the rest of it. The fact that now is that, oh, well, you can't solve it, there's no cure. Well, they can just pull it out of the bag when they're having a bit of, I'm not saying everyone does that, but you can do. But now we can say, well, all we need to do is get these people to say, well, go and see Steve and John, they'll get rid of that in about an hour for you, and then you can come back to work.
Exactly.
No one wants to do that. No one wants that.
Because everyone likes to put a sickie every now and again.
Yeah, exactly.
And
anxiety.
That is the problem with society.
And they're sitting on the patio. Hello. Was that Trevor? Yeah. Oh no, I'm terribly anxious today. Yeah. Okay. And they're sitting in the sun and go, oh, I'll have to. But I might be all right coming tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. Right? And that is the problem we do use in society to get out of things.
Yeah.
And that's our second game.
But Trevor's going, well, that's all right. Go around and see Steve. Harry, get rid of that in half an hour, and I'll see you in about an hour's time then, Tracy. All right?
Yeah. So
I hate you, Steve.
Yeah. He actually
ruined my day off.
He makes a good point because we wouldn't get days off like that any longer.
Yeah, very much.
But then we wouldn't be ill either. We wouldn't have the problems, and this whole nonsense would go away. It never started. If you recognise that you can't catch something, the government wouldn't be able to do what they've done this whole year because you could turn around to the government and go, what are you talking about? We don't catch this thing. Fuck off.
In actual fact, going back to that, I think I actually have got to be the luckiest person, I think, because there is this global pandemic.
Yes.
And there are deaths, and cases, and there's reported deaths. Amazingly, I think I must be the only person to have a whole repertoire of Facebook followers that have not
got it.
Then I've died.
No.
So I don't know how that works. That I can know over 2,000 people, not one of them's died from it in the most worst pandemic in the world. We need to shut everything down.
Yes.
And I don't know anyone has died. So I actually think I'm blessed. So thank you, Creator, for that. And I'm very, very fortunate.
Yeah. And I've travelled to another country. I've been in airports. I
haven't even brought my foreign clients up that also don't know anybody either.
No, exactly.
But no, we'll just keep it there.
But I
don't want to make it too conspiratorial.
Don't do that. But I've travelled places. I've been in airports. I've encountered lots of people. I've been in tight places with people. Haven't caught a single thing. So am I just lucky as well? No, I don't think so.
Well, you are. You're with me, mate.
I've developed your luck. Maybe I've caught your luck.
You caught it.
I've caught your luck. That's what it is.
Yeah. But isn't it funny? You can catch negative things, but you can't catch positive things. Isn't that funny?
There was actually.
Oh, I can't come to work today. I've just caught loads of luck.
There was actually a Red Dwarf episode where they said in Red Dwarf that the scientists had developed, they'd been able to isolate a luck virus, and you can instill it in you, and you became really lucky. And Lister, one of the characters, used it to get out of a locked door because he instilled a luck virus in it.
I know, but this is where people don't get it. I
sat there laughing. I was like, seriously?
Yeah, this is where people don't get it. They can catch everything that's bad for you. But you can't catch anything that's good for you.
No, that's right.
So you never say, I can't believe it. I've only gone down with loads of luck, won the lottery, and brilliant. I got full health back.
Yeah, exactly.
If you can catch bad health, you must be able to catch good health as well. But no, don't say that.
Can't do that.
No,
that wouldn't be possible.
But that's another.
If you taught someone that, they start getting better and healing, and they have a problem.
Yeah, exactly.
They won't make any money.
But people don't see that.
No.
People don't actually see, well, hang on, if you catch bad health, you must be able to catch good health.
No.
But we don't. Dun, dun, dun. There's a conundrum. Answer on a postcard. Send it to Steve at the Inside Out Effect with your answers of if you believe you can catch bad health, why can't you catch good health? I want the answers. I want to know. I want proof. I want evidence.
Answer on a postcard.
Answers on a postcard. Okay. Yeah, that's now everyone's sitting there going, he's got a point there. I don't know what to do.
No. That's right. No, that's a good point.
Because it's the truth.
And someone actually posted on one of the social media platforms saying that it's funny how all the people who don't believe that the virus exists are all healthy and well, and haven't caught anything, and all the people who do believe it exists are going down like flies.
Yeah.
So what is the difference?
Well,
maybe it's a belief.
Belief.
And this is what we're trying to get across. Everything in your life is driven by a belief. Yeah. It's not true unless you believe it to be true.
And talking about beliefs, I believe right now
Yes.
It's what happens on this day. We normally do it at the beginning.
We're going to go at the end.
We're going to do it at the end today.
Yeah. Well, it's good to keep it up and change it up a little bit.
The reason why I had a few people moaning because we was doing so much at the beginning of me and you that we were having to wait 40 minutes before we got onto the topic.
Oh, right, okay.
So I thought, well...
So this is where we lose our audience.
This is where everyone's going, oh, look, got this shot again, Steve.
They've got to this bit, so we'll switch it off.
Yeah.
Please don't, that's a joke.
Yeah.
That's not...
I know.
Yeah,
we could have a little message from our sponsors.
Have we got sponsors?
Crystal Winston.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Remember Crystal Winston? Yeah, he said, I like to meditate 365.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
yes,
so meditate 365.
Yeah.
I like to meditate 365. We've got live in-play meditations from all over the world. Crystal Winston.
Are you going to mention your hat?
No, yeah, my new birthday.
Have you noticed he's got his new birthday hat?
I do have a new hat on. Yeah, got it. I was lucky as well. It was the last one. So I'm actually getting I've all got a repertoire of jumpers, which I wanted. It's a new jumper as well.
Yeah, new jumper. It's his birthday jumper.
Yeah, so thank you guys that bought me that were around here and drinking champagne with me. Thank you for jumper.
Yeah.
But I did treat myself to a hat.
It looks good. It suits you.
I did treat myself to a really nice waistcoat as well, but I've had to send that back because it was too small.
Oh, you didn't send it back, did you?
I did send it back.
Yeah, he sent it back because it was about that much out.
Yep. Yep. It was. I'm not happy with it.
No.
Anyway, look, we've also missed out. Hello, Jane, and hello,
Susie.
Susie. We didn't mention
Hey, Jane. Hey, Susie. We haven't forgotten you. I just can't see without my glasses on.
Yeah, great.
So,
do you want mine?
No, I'm good.
Good. Excellent.
I couldn't pull off round glasses like that. It doesn't work.
That's a bit harsh, mate. You know what I mean? You don't want to be pulling off with any sort of...
No, I look like a Bond villain. It's not... It doesn't work.
Pull off.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'll be sitting there stroking a rabbit with the glasses on, going...
No, you're sitting there stroking something, going, Mr. Pull-Off.
You missed the pull-off.
Yeah, great. I'd like to see that.
Yeah, would you?
Yeah.
You'd be the only one.
Yeah,
we wouldn't lose our audience if we did that.
I wonder how that baddie would look sitting in his chair. Stroking something. Well, we've been called Mr. Pull-Off. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I don't think that would have worked in a James Bond movie.
I think it might have
I think it would have been the porn version.
X-rated.
It'd be the X-rated version of James Bond.
Porn Bond. Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's enough of that hoo-ha. And
I think the phrase we're looking for is anyway.
So let's move on to what happened on this day.
What happened on this day?
On the 11th of April.
Yes.
So there's some interesting stuff here, actually.
Yeah. You said it every week.
I did, because it is interesting.
That's good.
Otherwise, I wouldn't really talk about it or share what I know.
No, go.
So anyway, so on this day,
yes,
ladies and gentlemen, on this day in 1814, Napoleon Bonaparte abdicates unconditionally and is exiled to the Isle of Elba in the Mediterranean. Now, he was born in Ajaccio in Corsica on August the 15th. In 1769, he became Emperor of France. He continued to literally consolidate his power right the way through with military campaigns to 1810, and much of Europe came under his rule. Although Napoleon developed a reputation for being a bit power-hungry, no shit if he's conquered Europe, and insecure.
Insecure? He's conquered all of Europe and he's still insecure.
That's why he keeps going, have I got enough countries? I need another one.
Maybe that's why he kept...
Hello everyone, have I got enough countries? No, you need more. I better go and get another one then.
Maybe that's why they're doing it now, because they're so insecure, the people who are running the world, they have to conquer more countries and more people because they feel so insecure. Bless them.
Yeah, isn't that nice of them?
Yeah.
So anyway, he was also credited with he actually putting in a series of important political and social reforms which had a lasting impact on society in Europe in particular, but it included the judiciary, constitutions, voting rights for all men, and the end of feudalism. So actually, as much as he was a nutter, a warmonger, he did actually put in a lot of things that have actually helped. Basically, Napoleon in 1812 launched an invasion against the Russians, and basically most of Europe united against him. And what happened was that he broke the forces up. An officer stepped down. He was then exiled into to Corsica, but he then come back in 1815, and he renamed himself Napoleon I, and he was known as the 100 Days. But however, in 1815, he was defeated in the Battle of Waterloo. So a little bit of information on Napoleon. Right?
Very good. Quite interesting. Yeah, very good.
So in 1898, on this day, on April 11th, in 1898, so it's quite recent, President McKinley actually asked the American Senate to declare war on Spain.
Right.
I bet you didn't really know that.
I didn't know
Did you know
that.
the Americans did World War I trade? Yeah,
Well,
that
it was quite recent. It's still a little bit far back in my history.
Yes, it is. Yeah. So, but that was 2 months after the USS Marine was destroyed in an explosion in Havana Harbour, and basically they then wanted to go to war with the Spanish, and it basically ended the brutal civil war that was going on in Cuba.
Right.
Interesting, that?
Interesting. Right. Yes, very good.
Good. In 1900, the first ever submarine was designed by a guy called John Philip Holland, and it was purchased by the US Navy.
Oh.
Yeah. There you go.
Interesting.
It was and it was 53 foot, and it was named the SS Holland after the designer.
Okay.
All right.
Very
it was
good.
propelled on gasoline.
Propelled on gasoline.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dangerous, isn't it?
It is,
That's very dangerous. If you get that's not
probably if
good.
it caught fire, it would go out pretty
I was going to
quickly,
say, well, I suppose so. Yeah, but yeah, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go. So here's an interesting one as well. In 1912, which we all know, April 11th, Titanic leaves Queenstown Island for New York.
Yep.
It was on this day. Now, I've been to the Titanic Museum.
You have?
I was there 2 years ago with my son Ruben.
That's right, I remember.
I took my son there when I went to visit him in Ireland, and I've got to say it's the most amazing, one of the best things I've done. Apart from I also went to the Dali Museum in Figueres in Barcelona, which was really amazing as well. But that was really, and I actually would recommend anybody to go there, because everything that you know and have been taught about the Titanic is complete bollocks. Everything you've been taught and told about the Titanic is bollocks.
Wait,
and did you?
Do you mean Kate and Jack didn't have a romance on
Yeah,
the ship?
that's all load of nonsense.
Oh,
Honestly,
come on.
You go.
Sorry, Rose and Jack.
You go on a tour. You have this tour guide. You can pay to have the tour, and they go to all where they actually design the plans, and it basically tells you everything. And basically, that movie's destroyed everything about there's people have been in court cases and all the stuff, because that movie completely and utterly destroyed the real history, the real proof, the real things that have gone on, and projected a complete load of beliefs around the Titanic that's completely not true. Right. And they get quite upset about it. The guy, he's dedicated 30 years to it, was not a happy bunny when he starts talking about the movie, because everybody's there and they're like, they're so they'll think they know about the Titanic because they've seen the movie, and then you can see him getting really pissed off and go, right, I need to make things clear. Everything in that movie is just a lie. Yeah. And it's like, wow. And then you start finding out more and more information about the Titanic, and honestly, it's like mind blowing. It's like I was gobsmacked. Well, it was a really, really amazing thing to do. And if you ever in Northern Ireland go there, I mean, most people don't realise that the actual the flagship, which was White Star, White Star Line, and the flagship actually was the Olympic. Right. That was their main boat, and that also got damaged on the way back from coming back from New York. Now, what most people don't know is the Titanic was the backup ship, right. And what happened is that it went to Southampton. And the reason why there were so many people on that ship wasn't because everyone had paid to go on the ship. It was actually a backup ship. It was still a good, like a top, but it wasn't like the elite ship. The Olympic was. The Titanic was a backup ship. And what happens? It went to Southampton. And at the time, there was loads of so because the Olympic couldn't do the big journey, they had to use the backup ship. So they took the backup ship to Southampton. And at the time, there was a coal strike. So all the ships that were meant to go to America couldn't go to America because there was a coal strike, and they couldn't get enough coal for the engines to take all the ships. Right. So what the Titanic did, it said, well, we've got enough coal, we're going to America, so why don't all you lot on all those ships jump on here?
Oh, great.
So all the people that were on all those ships that were going to go to America come off of their ships, went on the Titanic, went across the thing, and
brilliant.
Saw the end of it.
Fantastic.
So, but yes, so that's a really interesting. But there's loads of stuff that I learned about the Titanic. It's really interesting. Not a lot of people know that it's all bollocks what you think you know about it, and they're actually I tell you another thing as well, which I learned. In the time, I can't remember the name of the bloody shipbuilders now. It's just escaped me. But anyway, it's a really famous shipbuilders, and basically there was a time around about the time that the Titanic was being built that Belfast became the richest city in the world. Right. Only for a little while. Yeah. I think it was for about 2 years, and then it went back to London. So London has always been the richest city. Yeah. Then it went over to Belfast for that 2 years because the shipbuilding there was so vast and so huge and so successful that every single elite tradesman worked there, and they all worked for the company. Right. And so basically, And they were, I think at one point they made 53 liners in 1 year.
Wow. And
these things were as tall as probably, I don't know, it's hard to give, you know, if you take a normal high-rise block of flats.
Right.
Like, you know, proper, that's how tall from the bottom to the top they were.
Wow.
It's amazing. They made 53 of them in 1 year. Wow. And every single fitting in that boat, from the shell to the boards to the rivets, all of the furniture, all made on site.
And we can't even make a bridge to walk people across
right.
these days.
Yeah,
seriously.
I know. And that was in 1912. But Belfast, for that 2 years, became the richest city in the world. And then 2 years later, I went back to London. So really interesting fact.
Yeah, very interesting. Yeah, I like that. Yeah,
so anyway, so you like that one?
That's good. Yeah, I've been to a Titanic museum in Florida. Yeah. I don't remember the information. I don't know if it was accurate to what the Wayne Island. But the thing that I remember about that was they had a kind of replica iceberg. It wasn't at the temperature, the exact temperature, but it was very, very cold, and they got you to touch it for about 30 seconds. And if I left it was freezing. And that was not the actual temperature.
The iceberg was cold.
Yeah, no, but I mean, no.
Really?
No, I get that. But it was so cold. Because when you watch the movie, you just think, oh, well, you know.
Yeah, but this is what you've got to realise.
You know,
the movie's complete nonsense.
No, I get that. I'm just saying, I was so amazed at just how cold that iceberg was. And they said if you actually left your finger on just that, you would actually get ice burns and things. And that wasn't even the proper temperature. They had to reduce it down.
You didn't stick your tongue on it?
No, I didn't stick my tongue. No, they recommend against that. They said don't do that. Okay. Just touch it briefly. But
you could have saved yourself $50 and just come and stuck your hand in my freezer. And I said, say that. That's how cold the Titanic was.
No, it was a little bit colder than that. I don't know what degree it was. But I was very young. I didn't know any of this stuff back then.
I know, yeah.
I was in my early 20s back then when I went. And it was on the main drive, in one of the drives in Florida, where they have all the restaurants. And
it's International Drive.
International Drive,
that's it. We've been there.
You've been, yeah.
I didn't go. I chose not to. I went and had a beer with my dad while all the rest of my family went in.
Right, okay.
So we're interested in it.
Right. No, but that was
the other thing I know as well is that in the Titanic, you know where you've got all the poor people downstairs?
Yes.
Well, that poor people in the Titanic was the equivalent to a normal 5-star.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's 5-star.
How's 5-star poor?
Yeah, exactly. So the third tier or the third class was equivalent to 5 stars you'd get now, and then you had higher versions of that. So the standard third class was actually 5-star class.
And we can't get higher than 5 stars.
And they had silver cutlery and all wine glasses. But then as you went further up, you had 5-star plus and 5-star plus. Right. But basically it was 5-star.
Okay.
And it's like people go, them people all down there, the poor people. No, they weren't. They had 5-star. It was 5-star across the board. It was the minimum that you got was 5-star, and then you paid for more stuff.
Wow.
So,
okay.
Yeah. But if you watch the movie, no. See, this is what they tell you, and it's amazing. But anyway, so let's moving on. Enough of the Titanic.
Okay. Yes. Moving on.
Okay. Swiftly moving on. So in 1941, Germany blitzes Coventry.
Okay.
In obviously Coventry, England. Which I don't know what the score was, actually. I don't know. And I felt a bit one-sided, all the German team playing against Coventry City. No wonder they got blitzed.
Yeah.
So no, joking aside, 1941.
And using airplanes as well to
exactly,
do it. That's a bit harsh.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So that's because obviously I think it was the cathedral that got hit. Cathedral down. But yeah. So in 1965, moving on 1965, in the US Midwest, there was in one day there was 40 tornadoes.
Wow.
40
in the same place?
Not the same place. Imagine that.
Yeah, that's what I'm
talking. Massive hole.
That's what I'm imagining right now.
Huge
40
hole.
tornadoes.
You won't believe it, 40 tornadoes here today, mate. You unlucky bastard.
Yeah,
exactly. I caught that unlucky.
I thought it was a bit windy outside.
Yeah, exactly.
I saw that leaf blow. I thought it was a bit of wind down there. There's a bit of a cast building up. So
the only place where you're going to get 40 tornadoes in the one place is probably on a bleeding aircraft carrier. You're not going to get any tornadoes. So 40 tornadoes across the US Midwest. It killed 272 people and injured 5,000 people all on one day.
Wow.
And I think it's the worst day in history, in American history for that.
I thought it was when Biden came into power.
That was it. Probably is. Okay. There's probably a lot of worse days in history. If you really went through them, we'd have an argument which one was. But the funny thing is, talking about tornadoes and storms, is that I've only had one car accident in my life.
Yes.
And that was when I was actually a storm chaser.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I used to, because obviously
the way you drive, I'm not surprised.
I know.
Exactly,
I was a storm chaser.
Exactly, yeah.
No, so obviously at the time I was...
You do know there are no storms at the moment, right? So when we go for Chinese later, we don't need to drive like we're running away from a storm.
That's okay.
That explains your driving. You think you're trying to escape a storm.
I know. Or chasing one.
Or chasing one. Oh, blimey. Yeah. Okay, carry on.
So I've only ever had one accident, and that was I was into storm chasing really badly, because when I started doing my pilot's license, I was learning to fly. I needed to learn all about the weather, and as a kid, I've always been fascinated with thunderstorms and lightning, night storms, and everything. I wanted to be able to know when a storm was coming, so I started learning about the weather through doing my pilot's license, and I also learnt about storms. And so anyway, I didn't realise that it's the most complicated science pretty much out there, and it took me about 7 years to learn. And I got so infatuated by tornadoes and how they work and the science behind it, I got really involved in this. Is going back quite a while, but I was a bit of a storm chaser. And anyway, I was out chasing this storm, and it was a really big storm, and I was so busy looking up, trying to see which direction it's called a cumulonimbus, which correct direction it was going. I didn't see the car in front of me had stopped, and I was looking up, and I just went bang straight on the back of this car. This geezer come out. What do you think you're doing? It's like a back of a tramp. Like the car had obviously been sitting there a while, and I just decided to go straight on the back of him because I was so busy looking at the storm. So anyway, no one was injured. Good. Just the car, to get rid of the car. But
so you weren't in the car accident wasn't in the storm. It was just because you ran into
it. Was literally I ran up the back of this big Ford pickup truck.
Right.
I was so busy chasing the storm and looking out my window to see which direction it was, to know where to roads to take, that I didn't see the car. And literally, there was a stopped car in front of me, and I just went bang straight at the back of it. Bit of a shock, but anyway, yeah.
Okay.
And I don't know if you saw it.
And that's the only accident you've ever had?
Yeah, in a car, yeah.
Really?
Based on that, yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
And I did actually.
If I've seen him drive, I find it hard to believe.
Good driver.
Yeah. As a great Bob.
Everyone else is crap.
Yeah, as a great Bob Monkhouse once said, I've never had an accident. I've seen a few in my mirror.
Yeah.
So carry on.
I don't know.
Yes.
But yeah, so I don't know. I actually posted a really good video a couple of weeks ago. The video of these a guy that was who done all the filming of the storms, put music to it, and stuck it out on Facebook. So listen to that. It's really awesome. It's a really good video.
Oh yeah, no, I saw you do that.
Yeah.
We spoke about that in here, didn't we? It was fantastic.
Yeah, it's great. So anyway, 1976, the Apple I computer was created by Steve Wozniak.
Wow.
And it was the first time it was released. And it was 1976.
Yeah.
And it was one of the earliest computers.
It was the year before I was born.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
You was the apple in someone's eye. So anyway, it was one of the earliest computers, and it recently, one of those sold in auction for 371,000.
Wow.
771 grand. But originally, when it came out, it cost, you'd never guess this, because obviously we love our satanic corporations.
Yeah.
It originally cost $666.66.
Oh, wow.
So that's the initial launch price was 666.
Right.
No symbology there.
No, nothing
whatsoever.
At all whatsoever.
No, and which is about 525 quid.
Yeah.
And when it was launched, that was equivalent to about $3.5 grand today.
Wow.
So it's an expensive computer.
Oh, it's expensive.
Yeah.
Well, they are, but they're still good computers.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Oh.
I've never. What, the Apple One? You're still using that?
No,
it takes you so long to reply to my emails.
That's why. No, I just don't reply to emails full stop because I'm super busy.
I
don't have a chance to respond to emails.
Yeah, great. So, because you are an Apple head, aren't you?
I'm an Apple. Well, I am an Apple person. Yeah. I like their products.
Yeah.
And I like Steve Jobs.
Do you?
So
do you like my jobs? Do you?
I like Steve.
You've got your own jobs. Keep them.
No, I liked the original CEO of Apple, Steve Jobs. He was good. But not impressed with
Steve Wozniak. He's the guy who.
No, I'm not impressed with Apple at the moment. Everything I've heard, but and the way they're trying to treat people at the moment. But
that's going across the board with all corporations.
All corporations doing it. Yeah.
Like Tesco's having your red light and green light. Right, you, right. You can come in now and buy your food.
Yeah, there's no way I would ever do that ever. I've seen people stop and do that. I'm like, seriously, are you insane?
Every single company that's doing stuff like that, I've completely boycotted.
Yeah.
I've boycotted all of them.
Yeah,
I think we all need to boycott these companies that are actually trying to dictate to us.
Take our freedom away.
Yeah, it's disgusting. And it's absolutely disgusting.
Go back to small shops, small businesses.
That's exactly what I've done.
I go back to a little fruit and veg shop that I found in Great Braxted.
It's disgusting.
Really lovely people.
Anyone that's making me or forcing me to wear a mask or do all of this stuff, you can shove it up your backside.
No.
I'm not giving you any money. And I think if we all did that, we'd soon get back to normality pretty quickly.
It would lift off so quick. And the whole, the thing in Florida, for people
really can't though. It's nice to to do nice things. I mean, you've got to worry about what other people think. You've got to wear your mask.
For people who don't know, Florida lifted their restrictions
and Texas
and about 18, and they've had no problems. The rate has gone down of apparent infection, and they've listed all the mask mandates, all the social distancing, and it's gone down. And the people in charge cannot explain that now because you can't catch a virus. That's why it's gone down. So because everyone's opened up and just gone back to living their lives, that's the reason. If we just do that over here, we will be fine. And the only people who die will be Boris and Matt. Because we'll all go out and start lynching them. But seriously, if you just go back to your lives, ignore the government, go back to work, open up your shops, and everything will go back to normal.
Happy now? You got it off your chest?
No,
you're getting angry like me.
Yeah, I caught it from you. I caught your anger.
Caught my anger.
I caught your anger. I caught it earlier on.
Did you know you catch stuff?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, you caught my anger.
I caught it. Yeah. I can feel myself going down with it.
I know. Do you?
Yeah. I might need some medication.
I know. I must have brought it home from work.
You possibly did.
Yeah, exactly.
You probably caught it from one of your clients at work.
I did catch
it. I
caught anger from one of my clients. I've now passed it on to you.
Is it angeritis?
I don't know what it is.
You're
the one that's got it.
That's
what is it?
You look like Eric Morecambe when you said it. You're the one that's got it.
You're the one that's got it.
I've got my glasses on. Hang on a second. Wait. Here you go. I can't do it. I've lost it. Ruggish. No, I can't remember.
You're doing a great job. I tell you what, your impersonations
are
brilliant.
Yeah.
Do you know that?
I know.
You should take it up. If you're as good as impersonations as a magician, you'll make it to the top.
Do you think?
Yeah, I think
I used to impress in school, but I wasn't very good at them, as you could tell.
I love impression. Is it impression or impersonation?
Well, impression is the behaviour, but impersonation is what you're... So an impression.
So I'm an impersonationist.
Yeah, impersonationist. That's what it is. Yes, correct. Yes.
Okay, great. So anyway, moving on to in 1992. I don't know if you remember.
Say moving on. We're really going backwards, aren't we?
We're going back. No, we're going forward. So we're going forward 16 years.
Okay.
So 1992, and it's when the IRA bombed the London financial district, killing 3 people. Do you remember that?
Well, I remember the IRA bombing the financial district.
Yeah, I remember that as well. And which was a really sad. Obviously, 3 people died, and
well, that's what we were told.
Yeah. Actually,
I don't believe it.
Yeah, and then we know the IRA bombed them, but who was funding them? That'd be interesting. I wonder if anyone really found out and actually looked into that. But anyway, don't do that. It's conspiracy theory. Oh yeah, no, it went on the news.
Would that be like ISIS in America?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So anyway,
where it was funded by the presidency.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was. But at the same time, on a more uplifting note, the time that London was being bombed, Euro Disney opened, mate.
Did it? That's a coincidence, isn't it?
Yeah, Euro Disney opened on the same day.
Wow. That can't be a coincidence, surely. Surely there's got to be something linked to that somewhere.
Yeah, both of us Mickey Mouse, mate.
Yeah, exactly.
No, so anyway. And they opening Euro Disney as they become, obviously, Disneyland Paris. And I've been there 3 times now.
I haven't been to Euro Disney. I've only been to Florida.
Yeah, I've loved it. It's great. In the main Disneyland hotel, which I stayed in, they've got like this buffet. Yeah. And it's like €50, and you can just eat as much as you like. And it's just the most amazing buffet you've ever had. I sat there with someone it was a girl I was seeing at the time. I said, "Do you fancy going to Euro Disney?" And I just went. We went within a week, just a spontaneous thing. And we stayed in a hotel and we sat there. I think we got in there about 7 o'clock at night, and we're both really keen seafood. There was honestly lobster, crab, you name it, everything. Not just that, but meat as well. And when I was eating meat, and we sat there. And we left about 20 past 11 at night. We went for about 4 bottles of really expensive wine and all this food. It's just absolutely phenomenal. The food's really good. But
have you been to the Florida one?
Yes,
you have.
Yeah, 3 times.
So did you think the French one was better, the Florida one? I've heard, because I've only been to Florida one. I've heard if you go to the Florida one, you don't really like the French.
No. Well, I went to the Florida one first, which I'm glad I did, because it's it's just an amazing experience. Yeah. But it's like it's just like a mini version of it. You really only, I think, when I went there, it was quite a while ago now, they'd literally only just built the Tower of Terror, the haunted hotel. Yeah. And it's really 2 days, really. It's 2 days, 3 days. Yeah. It's maximum. Other than that, it's just like basically Magic Kingdom and another smaller one. It's like a Universal.
There's so much.
But the Florida one, I mean, like 3 weeks is, you're going to need 3 weeks to do all of it. You need 3 weeks, and the weather's better. But I've been there. I took my girls there when they were kids, and I've been there a few times. I've had a few relationships, and I said, let's go to Euro Disney, and just took them. But I've been really good. So, that was that opened on this day in 1992. And you'll like this one. In 2012, on this day, the Avengers was premiered in Los Angeles.
Oh, really?
So,
okay.
Did you like
I like
the
Marvel stuff. Yeah.
Like the Marvel stuff. So,
of course, the British people, the Avengers was a TV show with that's
Purdy.
With Purdy. That's changed the name, didn't they, for UK audiences? Because the Avengers was actually a TV show.
Yeah.
Steed,
yeah,
and so they had to call it something else.
The New Avengers.
They had to label it differently from the American audience to the UK audience.
Yeah,
because they couldn't call it that.
Yeah.
Apparently, as far as I remember.
Yeah.
But that's going back quite a bit. That's the first time the Avengers. Wow, that.
I used to really fancy Joanna Lumley when I was in my teens. I think.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why. Yeah, exactly. You said really. I'm like, I don't know why.
No, I don't know why. No, okay. I'm not saying she's not beautiful. When she was younger,
when she was younger, I think she was.
She's still lovely now. If you're watching, I think you're lovely, and no harm. I don't mean any harm by it. You're not my taste, but that's fine. I don't want to upset her. Just in case she's watching.
She will be watching.
She's
going, oh, hang on. She's like that. She's going, hang on a minute, love. Hang on, lovey. Boys are on.
Yeah,
she's
exactly.
Yeah. Come and watch us.
That was a great impression of Absolutely Fabulous there. Very good.
Yeah. Wasn't that great? I wasn't even doing the impersonation.
No, were you not?
I was just doing that. Anyway, so the last one of all, in 2019, WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange was forcibly removed from the Ecuadorian embassy in London by police and arrested for failure to appear in court for US extradition.
Right.
Because that's what you really want to do, is when somebody's actually exposing the truth on all of the dirt on all the politicians and all the things that are going on in the world, you arrest them, lock them up, and then punish them for the people.
Yes, that's
because obviously the people don't really want to know the truth about all the corruption that's gone on. We better lock him up.
Yes, right. Yeah. Don't want the truth to come out about that at all.
Yeah, so let's lock him up and hush him up, and then portray him as a really bad person.
Yes,
I've looked at a lot of the WikiLeaks stuff, and it's when you actually go and look at it and read some of the information that's on there, it's like, wow.
Yeah.
How are these people still alive and in power? Makes Anyway, here's something else. Anyway, so just going to go back to the thing. Sam. Hello, Sam. So Sam, who was here with us.
Yes,
on
Sam.
my birthday. Hello, Sam.
Nice to meet you, Sam.
It was nice. It's lovely.
I don't.
Did you not think she
was
stunning when she turned up?
Stunning.
Yeah, she looked stunning.
She looked very lovely. She was very
lovely. Yeah. So hello, Sam. She says hello.
She kept her coat on for most of it, to be honest, so I couldn't really tell. But yeah, she did look. When she took the coat off and felt more comfortable.
She said, "Love you guys."
I'm joking,
love you
Sam.
too, Sam.
Teasing.
So it's really good. Okay, so that's the end of what happened on this day. But I've had instead of doing in the news, I've got 4 birthdays that have happened today.
Okay, go on then.
So in 1930, going along with the old Apple 666 computer.
Yeah.
Don't say anything about that.
No,
that's not real. It's all a conspiracy. Easy, Tiger. So in 1930, Anton LaVey, the American founder of the Church of Satan, was born on this day in Chicago, in Illinois.
Okay.
So there you go.
Well, at the Church of Satan.
I thought it was born 2,000 years ago in Rome, but anyway, all about again. So anyway, in 1960, Jeremy Clarkson
was born today. Oh, happy birthday, Jeremy.
Happy birthday, Jeremy.
Yeah, very good. Yes.
And in 1982, but a few sports people out there, Ian Bell, who was a really great cricketer, excellent cricketer when I used to watch cricket. Although I could with his hat, could actually.
Is it a cricket hat?
I think it's a cricket hat.
Do you? I'm not.
It's great delivery. That it's fantastic delivery.
Yeah, I'm not into cricket, so I don't know. No, I didn't tell you wore hats in cricket. I thought. Do they?
No. Well, the spectators do.
Oh, spectators do.
Yeah,
okay.
especially the Yorkshire ones.
So it's a spectator hat, not
a spectator hat.
Yeah.
Well, it's a spectator's hat for cricket.
But surely with a spectator hat, you could wear it any spectator sport. It doesn't necessarily have to be associated with cricket.
No, you're right.
So it's more of a spectator
I'm going to wear it at ice hockey to keep the sun out of me, honestly. Right, anyway, so Ian Bell was his birthday. And finally, and to wrap it all up, Joss Stone, remember the singer?
Yes.
English singer and songwriter, born in Dover in Kent. She was born in 1987 on this day. So there you go.
Brilliant.
So that's all the small talk, jibber jabber, unnecessary fun facts information over for this week.
Brilliant. Is that it? Are we wrapping up?
I think we might be wrapping up.
I think they're probably ready for us to wrap up now. Do you think? I think they're probably ready for us to go.
Hang on, we got Claire Magnus. Love the chemistry between you guys. Very entertaining. There ain't no chemistry between me and him. I can tell you that for nothing.
No, it's more a hot poker rod that's sitting between us right now and keeps us motivated, keeps us moving.
A barbed wire.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it depends how we're feeling, what mood we're in that
night.
Yeah,
exactly.
So we've got a wetsuit underneath this table. I tell you, it's not the shirt and the jumper just for show.
Yeah.
So.
It is really.
I've not heard that before. It made me jump.
It did make me jump.
That wasn't rehearsed at all. It was just off the spot.
Nothing's rehearsed.
Nothing. No, I don't rehearse
anything. Apart from me doing on this day.
Yeah, on this day.
I rehearse that a little bit.
He doesn't rehearse it, he just writes it down. It's not like
I do.
Do you rehearse saying that to yourself if I get you?
Over and over and over. I have a fear of failure.
Is that why
I need to switch off?
Is that why when I come in you're judged? You don't want to be judged.
Yeah, I don't want to be judged by our audience.
Right.
See? Oh, look at him, look. Didn't get that right, did he?
No,
Called himself a podcaster.
Yeah.
I ain't listening to him.
You know what they're going to do?
He makes too many mistakes. It's terrible.
They're going to write those down and check them. They're going to fact check
fact check me.
Fact check you on all those things. And next week they come and say, no, you was wrong about that. It was the wrong name, wrong day.
Do you know what? They're going to take the podcast down. They'll take the podcast down because they're going to fact check us and they'll go, no, see, one day out. It was April the 12th, actually.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Facebook remove us for getting the wrong facts. That'd be brilliant.
And then I go, yeah, but you're in New Zealand, so you're a day ahead. So,
right.
So
you even form an answer for that?
Oh, I know. That's what
you sat there and analysed that way too long. Seriously.
I know. That's my spontaneity. That works.
Okay, very
I do like a bit of spontaneity.
Anyway, hello Claire.
Hello Claire.
Claire's one of my clients in India.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Is it? You just called it.
I'm wanting it. Jonathan.
Is she?
I'm loving it.
Mind you, it might work these days because people don't want to be called him or her these days. They want to be called they. So maybe we could try call them it.
Could call them it.
They might get offended at that as well. Not you, Claire. Obviously, I'm just talking generally.
Did you see the Irish video I put out with the Irish lady?
Yes, who was talking about the vaccine? Fear.
I love fear.
I love fear. I love a bit of fear.
Yeah, I'm addicted to fear.
Yeah.
I love being a victim.
I come on, when I sit down, I watch the news. I love being in fear.
Honestly, I saw that. I was like, I'd
love to meet her. And chat with her.
It was on my Telegram post. And I was flicking through like the World Doctors Alliance. I keep pushing that guy's going. So I was wondering. Anyway, that video was up, and I thought, cool. So I looked at her. It was about 50 seconds. I thought, I'll listen to that. Anyway, she played that. Anyway, blonde hair, blue eyes, brilliant sense of humour. I'm like, I've just fallen in love.
Yeah.
I posted. I said, I want to marry this woman. What's her number?
Yeah.
It was brilliant. It was so brilliant.
Fantastic.
Honestly, I posted that, and I went back because my phone was pinging, and I had something like 42 shares and 800 and something views of that video in about an hour and a half.
Yeah, that's the most exposure you've had on a post, isn't it?
I know, yeah. It wasn't even me.
It wasn't even you. No, I know. Tell me about it. So no, that was a good video. I enjoyed that. It was good sarcasm.
And then one I posted a couple of days ago about the vaccines and stuff that goes into the details. Found that quite interesting. Obviously, no one really commented on that.
No, of course not. Well, they wouldn't.
No,
fry their brains.
Exactly.
So I just want to say thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for being part of this nonsense that we rattled on today.
Every fortnight. Fortnightly nonsense.
We
Stephen and John.
appreciate everyone who listens and follows us. And if you do know anyone who is running beliefs or is doing behaviours that might benefit from the video, please like, share, pass it on, because we share information to help people see what they're doing wrong so they can then go and solve it. We can't solve it through the screen, but we share the information just to help people.
Yeah. And
we try and share the right information that we know works 100% of the time or 98% of the time to solve the person's problem, rather than just things that just are very hit and miss.
Yeah, I'll say 99% of the time with me.
With you, it's 99% of the time. Okay, he's not competitive at all in the slightest.
Oh yes, I am.
Oh no, you're not. Is Punch going to pop up any now and Judy and just sort of start slapping you with a stick?
I don't know. I look forward to that.
Yeah. Being slapped with a stick?
Yeah.
Wait a minute, I'll go and get one.
Being punched by Judy.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Would a bread roll do?
I'll take anything right now.
Would a bread roll do? Because I'll whack you with a bread roll. There is actually a bread roll though, that's why I mentioned it. So no, thank you very much. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back in a couple of weeks' time with another podcast. Thank you everyone for watching. Would you like to say anything? Yeah, so if you want to get in touch with Jonathan, if you want to get in touch with me, if you want to get in touch with Jonathan, you're not too big for a slap.
If you want to get in touch
I can take that hat off of you. You realise that?
I can give it to you. Save you the hassle. There you go. Right. So anyway,
I didn't see that coming.
No. So anyway, if you did want to get in touch with Jonathan, you can go to his website, which is the dtosystem.com. You can get in touch with me if you want to work with me. I've got lots of people working with me right now. I'm quite busy, but please reach out to me.
Oh, you're super busy, are you?
Yeah, I'm worse because you just updated my website and actually put all the stuff I've done 4 weeks ago up live now.
Exactly, yeah.
That's really good. So I've got a lot more information on there. So that's healingthemind.co.uk. Or if you want something with your business or you want to reach out to us, you can go to the inside-out effect.co.uk. You can Go to our YouTube channel, which is The Inside Out Effect with Stephen and Jonathan, or our Facebook page, and blah, 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 blah. So much of that stuff now. But you can find us anywhere, and if you don't reach out to us, then we don't really care.
Well, no, I care. I care about people who don't.
I care about people, but I don't care if they don't reach out to me.
I lie awake worrying about the people who don't reach out to us, wondering what they're doing and why they're not reaching out. It troubles me. It leaves a hole in my heart.
Yeah.
And saddens my soul.
That's a lot of worrying, because that's 7.5 billion people right now that you're worried about.
Say it's quite a few.
No wonder you're having sleepless nights.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, that's what it is.
That's why I'm sleeping like a baby. All right. So anyway, great. We're gonna leave it there, shall we?
Okay. Yeah.
See you later. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. See you next week or in a fortnight's
folks.
time on The Inside Out Effect. Take care now. All the best now. And
Bye. Bye.
See ya.